Joy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Chelsea. I can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you when I use my computer, but not my microphone.
Make it available.
Or I can hear you, but you can't hear me.
Oh.
We'll test again in a moment.
Photo.
Joy, can you hear this?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening and welcome to the City of Manitou Springs Historic Preservation Commission meeting of February 4th, 2026. The purpose of the Historic Preservation Commission is to protect and enhance districts of historic significance and instill and foster civic pride in the legacy and achievements of the past, and to improve the economic vitality of the historic areas of community through encouraging compatible rehabilitation of historic structures. The Historic Preservation Commission is responsible for reviewing plans for building in the historic district for architectural appropriateness and to ensure proposals meet the city's design guidelines, which are based on the Secretary of Interior's standards for rehabilitation. And we will now do roll call. What time is Let's go down my list here in order. Matthew Rose.
Present.
Aaron Handlin.
Present.
Matthew Murphy, Commissioner. These are commissioners.
Present.
Ann Nichols, Commissioner. And Joy Porter,
Here.
Commissioner.
Here.
And Avery Tomsick, Commissioner. Thank you. Okay, so it looks like everyone is here. And we can move on to approval of the minutes from January 7th. Does anyone have any comments or corrections? Do we have a motion to approve? Oh. Anne has made the motion to approve the minutes. We have a second?
Second.
And Commissioner Handlin has seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Hi.
Opposed? The motion passes 7-0. Next is on the agenda is public comment on non-agenda items. Do we have anybody commenting or anyone online?
So it's not this board's practice to require signups. So if anyone in the audience wants to comment, I think that'd be appropriate.
Okay, no one? Notice of council action.
Thank you. For the record, Fred Rowland Hagen, Planning Director. Recent council action, the only thing that I did that probably will not have much of an impact for Historic Preservation Commission. But the council last night did do their second reading of an ordinance talking about existing inadvertent encroachments. Actually, this could affect HPC because there might be some historic encroachments that encroach either into city right-of-way, road rights, street right-of-way, or even on city property. This is something that we could run into because of the historic nature of the city. There could be encroachments, rock walls, structures, things like that might be in city right-of-way. This ordinance creates what we call an existing inadvertent encroachment mechanism to allow somebody to apply to get that encroachment allowance into the future. So there's no, there's no cloud on a title or cloud on a cloud on a title if the property is sold or something like that. So I could potentially see that occurring with historic properties in which, like I said, there's a retaining wall, a historic wall, or something like that that's encroaching into the right of way. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing that we have this.
Thank you, Fred. And do we have any unfinished business? No. New business, we don't have any MCACs for review tonight. So we can move right on to other business. That's okay with everyone? Let's see. We have, Vice Chair Rose and I were having some conversations about our responsibilities as commissioners. And we have come up with a few things that we think we need to be doing to really be performing in our position. So we've made a list here that we can discuss tonight. And since part of our responsibility, in addition to reviewing MCACs, is to promote historic preservation awareness and also do some education programs for the community. So the first item here is our Preservation Award artwork competition. So this year, typically we have hired an artist, and I just know the last 2 years we hired the same artist because we had liked her work. But we thought, just in fairness to all artists in town, we should have a competition this time. And that will also bring awareness to um, our work as preservationists. So, we will also, has any one of you ever done or organized a competition for artists? Nope.
Chair Kinseth, do you mind if I hop in?
Sure.
Okay. For the record, Chelsea Royston. So I reached out to Crane, as I know the city works with them to procure art for other public purposes. And in speaking with them, it sounded like this may be more of a challenge than we were expecting. And there are a couple of reasons for that. So as you stated, we've previously hired or commissioned artwork from one particular artist. And that artwork has typically been in the form of a painting of a historic structure in town that then we replicate and print onto all of the individual awards.
Right.
This is separate and this is distinct from how the Manny Awards are commissioned, which is an individual piece of art for each award. And then, so that being one challenge is that we're limited on the type of medium to paint or some other 2D replicatable piece of art. The next being that we have budgetary limitations. And so the director of Crane thought that what we've been able to commission art for in the past is $300. And she indicated that requesting a very specific piece of art for that price point within the time frame that we're looking for could be a challenge. And then on top of that, that the Chamber of Commerce has put on art competitions in the past, and they've had a very difficult time getting enough submittals. So all of these perceived challenges, I wanted to lay out to you as you were asking. I don't think anyone on staff has experience running this type of competition. We thought perhaps tying into the photo competition that the city puts on every year for using photographs on like city, the website and social media and things like that. That being said, we don't currently have a public information officer. And so that is typically the position that puts on that competition as well. So I wanted to talk with the HPC, see if anyone, particularly Commissioner Nichols, has any history on how the preservation awards were originally dreamt up, and if there was any time period that we could maybe reference back to that did not have art on the awards.
And I just don't recall, really. I think we've had art for quite a while, but Michelle always kind of handled that. So yeah, I'm not very much help, sorry.
So other than perhaps having a new format, I wanted to see how to kind of just get thoughts and lay it out there. I don't know what other resources in town city staff could reach out to other than Crane, as I know we have, I think we have a contract with them to procure public art. So, yeah, or an agreement, as Fred said.
Or what about the Commonweal and the MAC for promoting?
I thought Crane worked with the artists directly and they may also work, the artist may also be involved with Commonweal or with the MAC, but I'm not sure. I can look at those.
Mm-hmm. So, Crane said that one of the challenges was not getting enough, entrance or just not getting the word out or what?
So
I-
she said it happened on a couple of contests that the Chamber of Commerce put out. I don't have any other information other than that. It was a brief phone call, just kind of a quick little chat to get her thoughts. So,
Crane has a lot of experience doing call for artists, but they usually spend like $5,000 or it's
What?
big money. Yeah. $300. Yeah.
Where do they? Oh, well,
And do we even have $300 this year?
um,
we
For-
have
for the
400.
artist?
We have
so my
400,
understanding is
so
that that is
it's
not
pretty-
identified specifically, but it is included in our,
Yeah.
in HPC's budget.
But
Mhm.
if we need a portion of that for the awards
Right,
themselves and for the event,
right.
that would, I would think, decrease the amount that's available for the artist.
Mm-hmm. It definitely would. So that's something we needed to discuss too, but, so,
$300, we have $300 or up to $300. I wouldn't advise going over that, then we risk going over your annual budget. But
right.
I mean, we could, we can manage up to 300.
For the
Okay.
artist. Or for
Yeah,
the
for
event.
artwork, because that's an understanding, that's what we've paid for in the past. And so
Okay.
we tried to budget that, and I think, so that'll be fine.
So I think, so then we would have $100 left for the Preservation Awards event. Because we have a total of, 400.
Well, HPC, I believe, has a I'll have to check. I thought it was a total of like 1,200 for everything that you're doing.
For everything, yeah.
And so that includes the awards, that includes the artists, that includes any conferences that you
Oh,
want to
no,
go to, so on and so
The
forth.
$1,200 total includes the $800 for trainings. That's our total budget for this year, $800 for trainings and 400 for the Preservation Awards. So,
Yeah, that's what we figured in that 1,200. The budget doesn't specify that you only have 400 for the HPC awards.
oh,
It's one line. It's one line item that you're able to use
okay.
for either or.
When is the award ceremony again?
What, I'm sorry.
What date is it exactly? May? Okay.
Oh, yeah, the end
we
of
have-
May.
Yeah.
Right.
So, right, the date has not been set. But that, short time frame is also one of the constraints that we're working with.
Yeah, because we're only meeting once a month and then we gotta decide on how we're gonna process this.
Yeah, I think it was all happened really quickly last year too. Um,
It
sort of at
did,
the
yeah,
last
we
minute.
did it in a couple of months, and I think we decided we needed more time for
Right.
that because we had the contest as well.
So Laura, Erin was saying she didn't really understand what the preservation awards are, so you might explain that for. our
Oh,
listeners.
each year, we recognize applicants who have done work to their properties according to the decision that we made. And so we like to give them a little award, and we have an event at the end of May, which is Preservation Month. And the award itself is the painting that is done, and it's reduced down onto an 8.5 by 11 and framed, and that's their award. And then we have an event, a nice event where we present and It was very nice last year. We had a big crowd. We had it at the Carnegie Library Community Room. Yeah. Yeah. So back to the artist competition. Are they recommending that we don't attempt to do this? I thought for promotion, we would just ask Crane, of course, and the Commonweal and the MAC and city website and also social media for promoting.
So
which
they
wouldn't-
didn't make a recommendation. That's not what I was asking
Oh.
for. I just
Oh.
know nothing about running an art competition.
Uh-huh.
And so, if the direction from the commission is to, put the word out, I think we can do that. We just needed to confirm that that was the direction that,
Okay, okay. Does everybody have any objection to going ahead with that?
Not objection, but I am just curious about, like getting the schools involved. I don't know if that's ever been done before, how that would really work, but I know like the high school has a lot of art competitions already. You know, it wouldn't be as great of quality,
Mhm.
but who knows? There's
I
some really
think-
good artists there. So
I think that's a good idea, and I
Yeah.
did want to get the schools.
yeah, and I actually did a couple competitions when
Involved.
I was there myself as an art student, and I thought it was really fun. And like concerning budget, they don't usually need as much reward. So
Yeah, I think,
Right, the notoriety, yeah.
I think we should have plenty of applicants then too.
yeah, I
So-
mean, they get really
Huh.
excited over those kind of things.
I think that's a great idea to just limit it to just the schools.
Or at least open it up to the schools.
Mhm.
Yeah. I like that.
Mm.
So would it be, do you think we should do all levels, elementary through high school, or just high school, or?
I feel like if it's for the awards, maybe just the high school.
Yeah.
But in terms of like other outreach, we could involve the whole district somehow. I don't know.
Mhm.
No, but probably
I
just
don't
high
know.
school.
What,
I like that idea.
what
What's everybody else?
deadline do we need for the art in order to get it in
Mhm.
time for printing and?
in the past, we've printed these certificates in-house, so that
Oh,
could be, yeah, April, I would say.
okay.
So, right, and there needs to be some time for selection, and I don't know how you all intend to choose a winner. I would assume there needs to be some sort of parameters of this.
Right,
So,
we have to set
so if we're putting
some
this out,
criteria and some guidelines.
right, does it need to be of a structure in Manitou Springs in the historic district? 2D.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, and we'd have to, decide on what media, like no digital, um, no photographs, just, painting, pen and ink, what oil or watercolor, charcoal, all the regular. Yeah. And what was I going to say? Oh, yeah. And actually, this idea is something else that Matt and I were discussing about in the next item here in outreach is reaching out to the schools and getting them involved in some education programs. So I think this would be a very good idea.
Would a commissioner be the person to reach out to the schools, or would the city be doing that and then letting them know what the parameters are and when the art is due? Or I guess not just schools.
Well,
There's a
everything.
commissioner that's volunteering to do this. That would be fabulous.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for. That's the next thing I was gonna say. If anyone would like to take the lead on this, and that would be going into the schools and of course we would all, you know, whoever takes the lead can
mean-
ask for more assistance, but,
I currently have a little brother at the high school, and I'm really close with a lot of the art teachers, so
would you want to do that? That sounds good.
would this be like? I could go to the school, or I'm not sure who I'd email, but I could figure that out.
Yeah, I think if
maybe-
we went to the school and did
Yeah.
a little presentation about what this is all about, I think we'd get some interest, definitely.
They do a lot of like random assemblies, I think. If we wanted to go in front of the whole school, or it'd be like just a faculty meeting as well, I think.
Right.
Yeah, and maybe make like a draft idea of what the competition would be and the criteria for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need
So
to
we'll-
provide some guidance on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do.
Where to look and what to look for, and,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
what the subject would be.
Right.
But that would be easy enough to pull together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then as far as selection, I guess we would just see amongst ourselves what,
Should
I
we
mean, how-
have,
what
should we
meets
be the
criteria.
judges, or should we
Yeah.
have?
I think so. There's-
Probably like an email to everybody, and then there's a poll,
Mhm.
and you could just vote on your
And then-
favorites so that it's,
So I
kind of
do think that
just-
that needs to happen in open session.
oh, never mind.
Yeah.
You, I'm sorry.
The selection of the art and the award of the $300 needs to happen in open session.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot they're getting 300, so that makes sense.
I suppose we're gonna lose it.
Right. So, and
Can we reduce the amount, since I mean, I hate to shortchange a student, but they're not professional artists earning a living from their work. And it might help our budget if we could do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so
Even if
too. And it might be more.
$150 would
It
be,
might be
you know,
more appropriate.
in high school, that would have been a lot
Yeah.
for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Or $100.
$100 would probably be, wow,
Yeah, I mean, not to minimize their effort, it's just, it's a little different
that's right.
as not a professional, so.
They are not professionals. Right. What was I, and then oh, then we would need a place to exhibit them for display. I mean, depending on, would that occur at the award ceremony?
Do you mean all the entries?
Yeah. Or would we do that before?
I think the meeting before, so that city has enough time to print it out and get it ready, but they could just put it up on the screen, and then we could view it.
Oh, so
have
we
both.
wouldn't have to have the actual physical.
I mean, if the city can print it out, and then we could hand it around here, but we need a vote on it,
How would they
probably
be
a month.
submitted?
Yeah, I guess if that would be okay, if we had each one up on the screen, would that?
Yeah,
Does
I mean,
that
or if
sound
it's gonna
doable,
be like
Chelsea?
a
Does that-
physical painting, then we could have it here also.
Yeah.
So. But like Joy's gonna be zooming in, so it might also need to be on there.
Does that sound like?
Yeah, I think you can do that. What you want to do is when you identify a deadline for when you want the entries to be
Right.
submitted and where, and, you know, they can always submit them to our office or something like that. We collect them, then assuming that they're paintings, we can scan them or copy them or take a picture of them, send them to all the commissioners. It'll be in a packet. It'll be an agenda item on one of your meetings, and those entries will be in the agenda for everybody here to view. well as everybody, as well as anybody in the public who wants to take a look at the agenda.
I would ask that we actually have submissions done like through email and that way they're in charge of scanning it themselves. We're not handling art, we're not storing art and ensuring art and then perhaps maybe the city just obtains the winner.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
reasonable. In past years, then the art that's selected for the awards has then been presented to the mayor, right?
Yes,
To go to City
that-
Hall.
Oh, right, yeah. Thanks for bringing
Uh,
that up.
So I don't,
Mhm.
it seemed like that would be kind of a nice
Mm-hmm.
thing to do, although the artwork would need to be framed.
Right,
So that might be an extra.
and that's an
If that's
expense.
not something that the kids do to present, which would be a lot, I think, for the high school kids to do that. So, I mean, they might be matted. They could
Mhm.
mat them mostly for a school art show. The work is matted and then mounted on the wall,
Right.
but not framed.
Well, typically, planning staff does do the framing, right?
No,
Of the-
that's for the award. That's for the awards themselves.
Right, but,
I
and for the artwork, right?
I think Aaron did that last year. Our current staff doesn't really have a typical, because when there was turnover at the staff level, the HPC awards were on hiatus due to COVID. And so we've only done it the last 2 years. So we don't have a whole lot of history to pull from. I do know that framing can get expensive. So it's just a consideration.
It's also
maybe
possible to keep the cost of framing down. I mean, Michael's has lots of options
Yeah.
for inexpensive framing.
I
So it
think,
could be whatever portion, another portion of the $300 could go towards
Yes.
framing. Maybe.
Mhm. Yeah, you're right. Michael's or Hobby Lobby does.
Yeah, I mean, unless we
lot
want to
less
use a
money.
local, I mean, maybe there's a local shop that would do some framing for us at a low cost.
Mhm.
Does that sound
We could check.
like a reasonable idea?
Yeah, I think we can do that. It would have to be probably be a basic frame or something
Right.
like that we can grab. Yeah, it wouldn't be, yeah, to keep the costs down.
Even somebody at Meininger's down Colorado Springs might have
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
something.
yeah. That's a good, that would be a good source. Yeah, so we'd need to decide on a due date for the artwork. So would that be early May or mid-May?
If we could, I would actually recommend having a March competition. That way the selection could take place at the April meeting, and then May awards.
Okay,
Makes sense.
Good.
To have an item for the March agenda. Oh, no, sorry. Unfortunately, HPC meets April 1st, which doesn't give a whole lot of time. So I would recommend having artwork due perhaps on Friday, March 20th.
So then school
Mm-mm.
outreach would have to happen like as soon as possible.
Right.
In order for the kids to have like a month.
But the awards are at the end of May, correct?
correct.
Yeah.
Have
Could
have
we-
we set a date?
We
Typically?
haven't. It's typically, last year we did it on a Thursday, the last Thursday in May.
Would it be a big issue to move the April meeting? So it's not on the 1st of April? There's more time.
it's just a matter of finding a date that's opened, and has available for the Zoom channel and the meeting room.
So if we did look at the end, like the last Thursday in May, if that's something that we looked at, the 28th of May.
Is that the 28th? Okay.
Uh,
So I will contact the library and make sure we can.
If we did target that, then that would leave us, our meeting in May is May 6th, I believe.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of how much time we would actually need to finalize everything. I mean, probably not that long. We probably wouldn't need nearly 2 full months to finalize everything and get, I guess we have to get the awards selected as well.
So if,
Well, we will do that at the April meeting.
right, that can happen independent of the art.
Yeah.
And so the May, yeah, if you'd like to have the selection of the art happen at the May meeting on May 6th, I think that would give us time to then make the awards, before the 28th, assuming that that date is available.
Yeah, if that's available.
So then that
Oh,
would give the kids all of April, maybe.
Right.
Or if we did
Mhm.
before, then they would have a couple months.
Okay.
Yes, so, if you could please, April 27th is a Monday that, because we're organizing, packets that week. To get them
Friday,
out.
April 27th. Okay. And then we will judge them at our May meeting.
We should probably make it entries due on the 24th of April, which is a Friday, instead of Monday, the day that they need to get to you.
Right. That sounds good.
Well, again, if they're scanning them, I think scanning them to, I would assume my email.
Yeah.
Then, so I was just trying to give them the weekend. I know artists.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking, I know how I walked in here 5 minutes late, so I'm, I don't think I'm the only one who does things that way.
Great. So to recap, Commissioner Tomsick is going to reach out to the school. Please reach out to me if you need collaboration or guidelines. I can see what I can find. The deadline for the art will be April 24th, due via email. The selection will happen on May 6th during the HPC meeting. Chair Kinseth is reaching out to the library to secure the May 28th date for the awards.
Right. And then let's see. If we select on May 1st, we should be able to get the framing done
We're gonna select
May 6th.
May 6th.
May 6th.
Yep.
Oh, that's our meeting date. Okay, I thought it was first. So the framing, we'd have about 3 weeks to do the framings. We'd get to
Yeah,
it right away.
To be honest, if we go to Meiningers and we can buy some metal rails and a piece of glass, I can frame it.
I suppose.
I mean,
you
that's,
could.
I've done a lot of that. The what? Yes, you're right. Yeah. Yes. Good idea.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I think we can probably manage the framing.
Okay,
I'll volunteer to frame it.
sounds good.
Well, and actually that kind of brings up a good point. We could request that all the art be standard dimensions.
Yeah.
So,
Oh.
In the
that's very-
past, what was the dimensions of the art? I know the awards were 8.5 by 11, but the actual art, what was
It-
that?
It's varied over
It's varied?
time.
Okay.
Well, and if they are standard dimensions, we can buy a frame
Yeah,
already
Right.
made.
maybe that's a question to ask the art teacher, because they probably have standard sizes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like reaching out directly to the art teachers first would be the thing to do.
Yeah, and I have direct contact with one of them at least,
Great.
who I think is the painting teacher, so I'd
Great.
send out a message.
All right.
So do we need to decide on criteria? Since this is happening quickly?
Yes, we do. And I think, well, you can ask about the size. And I think for media, watercolor, oil,
Are, are
acrylic.
you selection criteria or submittal criteria?
Oh, well, do we have the media? Did we already make a decision?
I think we
about
already
the
talked
media?
about 2D.
Okay,
So,
2D, no digital, and no photography.
right.
right. Okay.
As far as selection criteria, I mean, and also subject.
Yeah, and so I think I had mentioned image of a structure in the Manitou Springs Historic District.
Yeah.
A structure being anything from a bridge, stairs to a building.
And that would be a good way to educate the students about the historic districts.
Mhm.
You could maybe show them a map or something.
Should that be like at an assembly that we talk to them? We have a question in the audience.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's
Architectural
a good
element,
idea
yeah.
because sometimes the detailing, yeah, is the main characteristic.
We set criteria for the last year we did the
Treasure hunt.
treasure hunt, yep.
Oh.
So, good. And that included like the architectural elements in the building,
Mhm.
so. Would probably make sense to follow those, since we've already did those.
Right.
Yeah, that was cool to have all sorts of different things.
Okay, so then the presentation to the art classes, is that something you think, I mean, and you can discuss it with the art teacher too, if you think you should go into the classrooms and each individual one, or
Yeah, I think at least with like my work schedule, it would have to be like an assembly, maybe with just the art classes, because I don't want to go in front of the whole school.
yeah.
But some of the students don't take art classes, so I don't know. I'll talk to the art
Okay.
teachers about it, I think.
Okay. So, and so did we decide on the amount of the prize? $100?
I think 100 seems fair.
I like that idea.
Okay.
And recognition from the public.
Mhm.
And they get recognition from the public.
Right.
Right, and the piece gets in
Yeah.
donated or given to the mayor and donated to the
You
city.
could put it in a newsletter.
Mhm. Yes, and we will also be putting the winner up on social media, I'm
Right.
assuming. Okay.
My hand is raised, I think.
Yes, Commissioner Porter.
Thank you. Thank you. I was thinking 150, mainly because the students will have to get their paint and the canvas they're going to paint on and some other costs involved. And so that they would end up with $100 or a little bit more. I really think that that might be a good idea.
I like that.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have it all figured out. They will be emailed to staff and then you will email to each of us.
No, they'll be part of the May meeting packet. All submittals will be part of the
Right.
May meeting packet.
Right, right.
Do you think that we should, between now and next meeting, which is what, March 4th, I think?
Oh, yeah.
That's the time to talk with the schools and come back and report to us so we can
Yeah.
then have the competition for all of April?
Yeah.
Or the rest of March and April?
I think so. Do we have like examples I could give to the students of like previous? I mean, it's hard because you hired a artist previously, but it could be an example of like what we're looking.
We probably
for.
have certificates,
Okay.
the
Yep.
past award
Yeah.
certificates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
would
think
be a
that-
good thing to show them
Yeah.
too.
And I think the treasure hunt materials as well to show kind of the details and
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Do we have anything else to, do we have all of our guidelines in place? Yep. Okay. So we will be looking forward to hearing what you have on March 4th. All right. Good ideas. I'm glad we figured out something so that we could do it, and I think this will be fun. So, the next item is outreach and education programs. So we are reaching out, and Matt, in the next item here will, Commissioner Murphy will talk about our first social media post to educate realtors. And we wanted to also talk about the history of Manitou Springs and the architecture and the historic architecture in schools. So we have up in there. And also Vice Chair Rose was thinking maybe we could promote at local events like our farmers market. If they have, we could have a table there just to educate, have some information about what we do and the historic districts. If that's possible, if they, I know a lot of times the farmers markets will have a community table that you don't have to pay for. So we could look into that as well.
Well, some of those things that we talked about sort of came up because of what you shared last time, Chelsea, with the sort of our directive, the things that we are, as a commission, are supposed to be doing. And one of them right in there was outreach and education to the public. So that we were just trying to think of ways to do that that might, be very cost effective and yet and fun. We can sit there with some sort of elements or something and talk about it. At the farmer's market, I was thinking our farmer's market has a whole lot, a lot more crafts and things than it does vegetables. So that seemed like an appropriate place.
Right. Okay. Any more comments about outreach? No? Then we can move on to social media posts, and I will hand that over to the experts, Commissioner Murphy and Commissioner Rose.
Yeah, I think we were gonna do a HPC introduction post, kind of just summary of everything. And I brought it up, maybe it was the November meeting. It's been a while, but it was after a bunch of MCACs, so everybody was kind of exhausted, so we tabled it. Now here we are. But I think it's pretty much ready. It's in the packet, but there's 2 paragraphs at the beginning, and there's just 2 different options on which one we would want to use, and if there are any other changes you wanted in the 1-pager. But once it's finalized, then we can hand it over to the social media manager post.
Yeah, you just have two opening paragraphs. One is, I mean, this is in our packet as the commission intro article.
Yeah,
The
is
fir-
that,
The first part of the opening paragraph is what's already in the beginning of each meeting, and the second option is an alternative one. Do I need to read them? Okay.
oh,
I think we're putting it up on the board.
Sorry, I'm just getting them ready.
yeah, I think
You want to read it, Matt?
Sure. So the first option is, it's under who we are and what is our mission. And it says established in 1979. Purpose of Manitou Springs Historic Preservation Commission is to protect and enhance districts of historic significance and instill and foster pride in the legacy and achievements of the past, to improve economic vitality of the historic areas of the community through encouraging compatible rehabilitation of historic structures. You probably recognize it. That's the intro to every HPC meeting. The second option is established in 1979. The Manitou Springs Historic Preservation Commission, HPC, is a citizen-led advisory board committed to protecting the city's rich architectural and cultural heritage. We work to ensure that the unique character of Manitou Springs, rooted in its natural beauty, historic buildings, and artistic spirit, is preserved for future generations. So, I like the second option more, but figured I'd let it up to
Me
the
too.
commission. So,
go with that.
I-
all right.
I would recommend one alteration, which is this is more than just an advisory board. This is a quasi judicial board. So
Okay.
I don't know if you need to include that, but it's more than advisory.
Okay, let's make that change then. I'll update it and send, should I send it to you, Matt? Or?
Sure.
Okay.
Probably quasi judicial is a little heady to have in the social media post. So maybe there's another way to say that.
Except, oh, my hand is up.
Commissioner Porter, yes.
Yes, we are a quasi judicial board, which is different. And so there's another quasi judicial, and I think that's important. I also think in the first one, where it talks about the economic vitality, I think one of the criticisms sometimes of us is that we make it very difficult for people to be economically viable, fixing up their windows and things. And I think it's important to identify that one of our goals is to improve the economic vitality of our town. And that's why I'd go with the first one. I mean, I can go either way, but I think Chelsea's right on the quasi judicial needs to be in there because it makes it different than other boards.
That makes sense. I agree.
Thanks. But I'm open to many things.
And I would also like to just throw out there that since we had that original meeting with our then public information officer about social media, the city's developed the biweekly newsletter, which is more, I think, supportive of the article format, where social media, I think, is looking more at, infographics and things like that. So just another avenue for the article.
Yeah, I think whenever I put this together, the purpose was to go into the bi-weekly newsletter. For like a social media post, I guess, what are we limited to? Like character links or,
I don't know if that still exists.
oh, never mind, then. Easy. So this would just go into the bi-weekly newsletter then, right?
We can definitely put it in the newsletter. What you might want to do is talk with it'd be our city clerk now, who's in charge of PIO information until we get a new PIO officer. But what you might want to do is talk directly to Elena Krebs about putting something up on social media. I can provide that contact information. She can kind of help you with the content and
Okay.
things like that.
Yeah, that would be great. I think it would just be trimming the existing one pager down.
Mhm.
So,
Or-
but it sounds like we have two. Sorry, were you gonna say something?
It's just that you could even use the social media to kind of direct people to the article.
Yeah, yeah, like a link out to it.
Right.
I like that. So social media and the bi-weekly newsletter. And then, so there would be, I guess we would just vote on which opening paragraph we want. But the second option, instead of advisory board, it would say quasi judicial board.
Move the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
Did you have an image in mind that you were going to use for social media?
I did not know. I'd probably just use whichever opening paragraph we pick and then an image of a historical building in Mansfield. And then a link out to the newsletter for more information.
Okay.
We could use last year's HPC award art.
There we go. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Any more, oh, and these are some of the ideas that, Commissioner Rose and I came up with as for future.
Sorry, was a decision made about which paragraph?
I'm good with the second one, but changing it to quasi judicial, but should we have a vote? Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Because of the economic vitality
Mhm.
point that was made.
All right, I'll make a motion then to go with the second paragraph, changing it to quasi judicial board.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
That would be me just because of the economic vitality, so I would vote no on that one, but it's fine.
Okay, so it passes 6-1. Okay, so these are just some ideas that we came up with for future social media posts. And one idea is to at each interval profile a different historic district to familiarize everybody with those, and some maintenance tips like repairing of windows and the benefits of repairing rather than replacing, and also then have links to preservation briefs. I don't know if anybody uses those, but those are really, they're They're published by the National Park Service, Department of Interior, and they're just really useful tools when you're, say, repairing historic wood windows, how to do masonry, how to redo a historic roof, and it covers everything. So I think that would be a good thing to a good link for those. And then how the approval process works, what grants and incentives are available. And let's see, highlight maybe some of our projects that have been completed. And our events like the treasure hunt, and maybe have some quotes from people who live in historic districts, or they can show off their homes. So anyway, those are just some ideas for the past, and of course we'll need many more, but
If we
anything
do
to
that right,
add?
that could take us through the year.
If anyone, feels inspired by any of these and wants to put together an article, feel free to do so and send it to me, and I can put it on. We've done a kind of like a little template for the planning department, so that our articles are identifiable visually. So if that sounds like something you'd like to do, then we can do that, and I'll just run it through our accessibility checker and flag anything that I see as potentially needing to be reviewed.
So we would send those to you then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the social media posts, would one of us be the main contact, or how would that work?
Yeah, so let me talk with the city clerk about the best way to do that. I feel inclined to maybe just connect you, Matt, directly with Elena, so you can talk directly with her to find out what they're looking for posts and things like that.
Okay. And she doesn't do the bi-weekly newsletter. That's somebody else.
Well, actually, she's also responsible for putting together the newsletter, but if you give us your articles for the newsletter, we can format them for you and then submit them to Elena on your behalf.
And it's just an extra set of eyes. We're already submitting planning articles, so
Okay.
that's why I thought that would be an easier avenue.
Alright. I just sent you all the Word document, so.
Perfect.
Okay. Now we have upcoming events. The Saving Places Conference is coming up in a week or so. Do we have, how many of us are signed up, Fred?
Two people expressed interest, Matt Rose and Aaron. And if you haven't registered, go ahead and register, and then we can reimburse you for that registration. The reason I when I sent the email out to everybody, I had said, if you want to do it remotely, let's do that. I wasn't sure how many people were going to reply. But I wanted to make it available to everybody on the commission. And in order to do that and keep our costs down, I said, okay, we can do it remotely. We can't afford to send everybody to the conference. So that's why I chose to do what I did. So we have two people who are interested, but if anybody wants to register, you can register and then go ahead and send me the your bill or the invoice, and we can reimburse you.
Okay, thank you. And then the Historic Preservation Awards, we've pretty much discussed that, I guess.
The only thing we didn't discuss about that is if we're going to do the architectural treasures hunt again this year.
Yes, and that is the next item.
Oh, it is? Sorry.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We won't forget about that. So, when do you think we should, how much time do you think we should need on that to have everything ready for, say, the 15th of May and have, because what we do is offer a prize for that. And last year we did gift certificates from local merchants. And we had a very nice package that was worth over $200. So, and then at the last minute, we got 2 passes to the Cog Railway. So it turned out really well. But we did find that we needed more time than just, what did we have, a couple weeks or 3 weeks or something. So I think maybe starting March, we should ask for, or maybe April 1st.
Could we start taking our photos for it right now?
I'm sorry?
Start taking the photos for it right now since
We
last.
certainly could,
Okay.
yes, because, and that's the next item is
Sorry.
doing the artwork and the graphics. I don't know if you have time to do that again or
Yeah, I can do that
anyone
again.
else.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful last year. Really was. So should we do the same thing? What did we have? 10? 10 photos?
I think we
to
had
identify?
11, actually.
Do we have? 11?
I think there were 11 and
Oh, yeah, because it worked out with your
yeah,
artwork.
if we do it
Yes.
similarly.
So what we did, was take photographs. We each did a few and just submitted them. But, of, architectural features mostly on buildings or entire buildings, but you don't want to totally give it away. So and then we just submitted them. Did we submit them to you first and then?
It's actually
can-
Aaron last year, so I'm not sure how this was run either. I,
Yeah, I
all-
guess we did send them to Aaron last
Yeah,
year.
and then Aaron sent them out
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
us.
I think
Mhm.
she had to do a little bit of cleaning because multiple people sent the same stuff.
Yeah.
But
right.
after that, then it was just off to Matt and then he
Yeah.
put it in there.
I'm hoping she'll be back for March, so we can put that on her plate. Say, welcome back.
And the idea of the treasure hunt every, I don't know if you saw it last year, is just taking photos of architectural features around town in the historic districts. Like that are hard to find, not that are right out there. Some of them were right out
Mhm.
there. We got feedback from the couple who won that it took them a couple weeks to find them all.
So we should be a
Um,
little easier
No. And I think we got 21 entries
We did.
and
We had
like,
21 correct
21
entries
correct.
and one that was incorrect.
yeah.
I think that'd be a really good social media post. If we
Yeah.
could-
Yes, definitely. Mm. And we also, that was posted at the chamber on their website and
Mm.
they also, we had the entries delivered to them. So they wanted to participate, so we did that. And also the Heritage Center wanted to participate, so they printed up some forms and had them there. We were wondering if we should print up forms and put them in local businesses. Does that sound like a good idea too? Or, of course, if we have social media this year, I think we'll have a little better luck.
Yeah, last year we ran it in the paper. But that was when we had a paper.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
Would it make sense for the businesses that contribute to the prize? Maybe they could have it at their,
yeah,
Right.
that's good.
so,
We did offer that,
okay,
right.
And we could
last
go
year.
in the biweekly newsletter too.
right.
Yeah.
Um, So are you all kind of knocking on doors? Is that how that was done to get the prizes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was going into businesses and asking if they were interested in participating.
Mm-hmm.
I know one that can provide my mom's restaurant. She'll be able to.
Oh,
And we actually put a lot of the school posters up for like their marketing things. I don't know if anybody looks at them, but it's a
good.
gift card at least. Savelli's.
So if we have, I'm sorry, were you still talking? Oh, okay. Okay, yes, so we would want to have the graphics done, so, because it's good to have that in hand
Mhm.
when you're going around to merchants. So,
So should I have that ready for our next meeting?
Maybe.
if that on
You
March,
probably want to give a month for the scavenger hunt and then
Yeah.
announce the winner at the award ceremony.
Yeah.
So
yes. Is that doable?
Yes.
All right.
so we need photos by,
I can lay it out before we have the photos.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, because I'll make it similar to last year.
Okay.
So if we want to have photos, take this month to do photos ourselves and have them ready
Okay.
for our next meeting, that'd be great.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, and then go ahead and email those to me as well.
Yeah.
That
Because once we have photos and then we select them, I can pop them into the layout really quickly.
Just to confirm, they're like photos of elements, not the whole, obviously not the whole building, but
Right.
like,
hidden details.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have the example from?
I'm not sure if I have it. I'm looking right now.
Oh, yeah. I should have.
I should.
And then, would Karen write the text again?
Yes.
Because that was, I thought, really nice. There's a thank you. Any more comments while Matt's looking for the example to
Chelsea,
show?
want me to email it to you or just, do you want to put it up or just pass it around? We can move on. I'll send it to you right now. You can go on to our next thing while I do that.
All right. And the last item we have for other business is the planning director updates.
Okay, thank you. I don't have too many, but I did want to provide an update on our two projects that we're working on, Title 17 updates and the historic inventory of the log cabin sub-district. These are two goals that are on the planning department's list of completing. They're also goals that are on HPC's list to complete this year. We've been kind of working on this for a couple years and we haven't really been able to get moving very well. Staff has been working on a number of other projects for the city, so we haven't had a whole lot of time. Unfortunately, right now funding has gone down. Our budget has gone down quite a bit for 2026, so that's not very helpful for us getting these two projects done. I did take a look at what funding the opportunities there are to get both of these projects done. And History Colorado does have a couple grant opportunities that we can take advantage of. I was looking into those over the last couple months. Number one is which I thought was going to be helpful is a CLG grant, or a grant specifically for certified local governments. For those of you who are here, you might have heard that my predecessor and Chelsea tried to put together a grant application for a CLG grant for the log cabin subdistrict. I think it was in 2022 or 2023. We did not get that grant. And so that's what happened. The CLG grant is up to, but not to exceed $25,000. So that's good for smaller projects. We, at the end of last year, we did put out a request for information to get some information back from consultants about what it would take to do an inventory for the log cabin subdistrict. The information that we got back, or the costs that we got back, were between like $35,000 and $45,000, I believe.
Yes, with outliers up to 100,000.
Okay. Outliers, yeah, some outliers were beyond that. So we could still apply for the CLG grant, but chances are it's not going to cover the inventory. I talked with our representative at the state who recommended that we apply for the other opportunity that they have, which is a grant from the State Historic Fund, a mini grant, which we could ask for up to $50,000. The caveat with that is we have to put in a minimum of 25% match. So I need to go to our city administrator and see if we can scrounge up some money for a match in order for us to apply for that grant. It's possible, but not guaranteed. So I need to do some more research to find out if we can do that. The log cabin inventory is pretty straightforward, and the scope of services is very straightforward on that. Title 17, we don't quite yet have a good scope of services because we don't really know exactly what we need to revise in Title 17. We've been so let me segue into Title 17. We've been putting together kind of a short list of topics that we know we want to revisit, and that's based on information I've gotten from from you all, as well as what I've heard from staff. So we have kind of a short list, and there's some options on what we can do with Title 17. It would be nice if we could find a consultant, it'd be nice if we could find money to pay a consultant to do that. That may not work. So we may have to do Title 17 a little bit more piecemeal based on what resources we have. I got permission from the city administrator to use our attorney to help with the demo permit section. I know the demo permit section is kind of problematic and quite extensive. You all, those of you who are here, might remember the demolition permit application for the Green Willow Lodge. So we know that we want to relook at that, and I'm having our attorneys take a look at that and get us some examples on some better demo permit processes. So that's happening right now. Let me pull this up. Some of the other broader topics that what I've heard that we want to tackle in Title 17 are, in addition to that, are looking at potential penalties or fees for work without a permit, but also that goes hand in hand with the 10-year moratorium that we have in the code. And make sure that that's, make sure that is that typical of other ordinances. Could that be reviewed? Could that be massaged or revisited? I heard from HPC that we're interested in looking at energy efficiency and looking at acceptable materials for safety and energy efficiency upgrades Is there a list or an application or something like that to focus, sorry, not to focus on, like a list or an acceptable list that would be acceptable materials in the historic district? I have here appeals process, and honestly, I can't remember what we were referring to with that.
My understanding of HPC's appeal process is that it's appealed to city council, but then city council makes the determination of whether or not the it's not a review of the decision itself, but whether the decision followed process. And so then it's remanded back to HPC to review the same case under the same guidelines. And so that's just, it's not good or bad. It's just different from other appeal processes that the city has. And so we look at it for consistency.
And the other topic, I think, from what I heard, and please correct me, please give me your input, was how Title 17 looks at signage standards, how does it look at new signs in the historic district, standards for signs in the historic district. There's also a section regarding historic signs in or outside of the historic district. And maybe that can be reviewed and cleaned up a little bit.
And I think that one in particular mostly stemmed from needing to review the sign code as a whole.
Okay. Those are kind of the larger topics that I gleaned from hearing from HPC as well as from staff about those topics. In addition to that demolition permit process, and that demo permit also coincides with that economic hardship review, if you recall, which is quite interesting. So that's where we are with Title 17. Title 17, we don't have a clear pathway forward on how to move forward with Title 17. I think it's also important, however, to do a public engagement process when we're looking at code revisions and make sure that we're engaging the public and hearing from the public about what they feel about Title 17. So that's my update on those two. We're continuing to work on that, but any comments, please let me know.
What kind of input from us would you guys want, or when, as that develops?
That's a good question. If you have thoughts now or soon, I'm always open to hearing them.
I guess what I meant more than saying input, it's participation. If you do you need us to participate in this, or is this something that operates in your
Probably
field?
good. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. So probably what we're going to do is as we have revisions, as we move forward with revisions, we're going to have, or I'm going to want to have, I'm going to want to schedule some work sessions with the commission on particular topics, so you have a chance to review them or review the direction that we're taking these different topics, and that's when we'll be asking for your thoughts.
Great.
And direction.
Are there any more comments about these updates? And
Did you get my email?
Yes. So as soon as we're ready to, I can share that.
yes, we're ready for that.
Maybe.
And while we're waiting, I apologize. I forgot to introduce Jehan Arakan, who is here tonight visiting our meeting. She is applying for the alternate position that's available. So thank you for coming.
So each of the photos is a pretty tight tight crop into an architectural element in town. So the idea would be that people would write down where it was, give the address of the building, and either get them all correct or not all correct. No, this is everybody. We ran this as a half-page ad in the bulletin last year. And then these flyers were available at the chamber and the
Heritage
Center.
And planning
They
department,
were posted on
And what?
city
the planning
website.
department.
Planning department. Yeah.
And almost everybody got it. You got every one of them right.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So we could try a little harder this time.
Yeah.
Make it a little bit more hard to find.
Yeah, I think a lot of people worked in groups.
Yeah.
And I think if you, when you submit the photos, if you could submit the correct address that
Yeah.
goes with it, that would
Yeah,
be helpful.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
I just want to verify that it's in the historic district.
Yeah, that is the thing. It has to be in any of the historic districts. Like one of them is from the El Colorado Motel, and that's its own historic district. So
Mhm.
it just can't be between here and there,
Right,
right?
yeah, we had some good ones.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
red,
I think we
Doors.
also tried to avoid people's houses also for privacy.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly in the business district and then there was some on on the street. Like where the Craftwood Inn is.
oh, yeah,
You know,
Mhm.
uh-huh, yeah, up on El Paso.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to get some out of town a little bit too.
And there's things up Ruxton that we could do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe get in some of those districts, some of the buildings west of downtown too.
And when we went around, we took this flyer around to the businesses and asked them if they would participate. And some people would give like a 10% off or a $10 gift card. The bike shop up on Ruxton gave a free rental for 2 people. I mean, there was some good. there was
People
some
were
good
very
things.
generous. Oh, no,
That's what it
Oh.
was.
Any more questions about the treasure hunt contest?
I think we've got our
Okay.
next newsletter. So
So, so we'll get our photos in by March, what is the meeting, March 4th?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Probably the week before, so Chelsea has time to post them. Okay, any more questions or jobs for us? Nope. We good? Okay, it's 6:55 and the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.